TheWalkerReview here at IK Studios, and we're finna have a very intellectual and deep conversation because I'm trying to see if I should let go of this chicken, which is one of my favorite dishes. And I'm here with my guy. Bro, we had a whole conversation. We are 2 letters off from us having the exact same name. Bro. 2 letters up. What is it?
It's one.
One?
It's the L for the K.
See? One. My guy Brandon, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Chilling on it, bro. Appreciate you coming on the TheWalkerReview.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Vegan chef.
Yes.
Bro, I wanted to try some vegan food yesterday.
For sure.
So I could get a kind of a feel for how it was before we got here. Didn't open till 5, so I couldn't do lunch. But for starters, before we get into why you chose to go vegan and how you operate your vegan cooking business, like one, tell the people who you are and where you're from.
Man, originally, my mama started, my name is Brandon Waller. It's Brandon Walker.
See,
so that's why it's kind of similar, bro.
I told y'all.
But, man, I come from Thibodaux, Louisiana. If you don't know what Thibodaux is, it's about 45 minutes south of New Orleans. So I'm from the bayou, like from like the south. If you already know how we eat out there, man, crawfish, shrimp, po' boys, pig feet, pig lips. So we ate that way. So I mean, that's kind of like the background I'm coming from, man. So I'm deep into food.
Understand.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the wrong food that we into.
So tell me this. So you came from the crawfish, from the pig, and all of that. But what made you decide? Okay, I'm going vegan. Like, what was the moment that happened?
Man, really like, cause a lot of people kind of find inspiration from different things. Like, I've always been like a very earthy person because my sign is a Taurus. Okay. So I was born April 24th, so I always kind of had this connection to Earth in general. Okay. So I guess really when I started paying attention to it is when I went to college. I first went to college for marine biology.
Gotcha.
So then I changed that around, went to geology. Then ultimately I graduated in environmental science.
Gotcha.
So going off the environment, I was kind of having this conversation earlier about like how can it be that fruits and vegetables they grow on trees all day, like with little to no help depending on the area that you're grown in, and like you can literally walk outside, pick a pear off the tree, and then you fed. So I'm looking at it from that aspect. It's like, damn, like it's 2018. Like why don't we have more of those options? Like why can't you go outside, pick up an orange off the ground, apple off the ground? Like everything is really, whatever you call it, corporatized. Like everything is in control. So I can't go outside and I can pick up food off the ground anymore. So looking at it from an environmental aspect, I was like, what's really going on? What's really going on in the world? But then once after I went to the environmental aspect, I started looking at deeper in foods I was eating personally.
Gotcha.
So I started, because I did track and field, so I was like, damn, like what foods can make me feel better? Like why am I tired of eating this? And then like I started to adopt like a more plant-based diet, and I started noticing I felt better.
Right.
So then at that point, man, it kind of came like snowball effect. I was just addicted to fruits and vegetables, man.
That's just crazy, bro. It's like, bro, like I tell you, like chicken is my favorite. I can literally eat that every day. And I love vegetables. Guys, like salads has become one of my favorite meals, even though it's just something base. It's kind of bland. But at the same time, just being able to kind of transform your diet and different things like that, just kind of crazy to me. Cause like, what was one of your hardest things going through that transition when you decided to become vegan?
Man, it's not. See, the thing about switching over anything is whenever I made that switch, like I didn't focus on how hard it would be. I just really focused on like it was something I had to do. Okay. Like I think like once you focus on something that you had to do, it kind of puts the balls to the wall. Like it is no other option. Like I had no other option as far as going back and eating meat because it was something that I wanted to do. Like for me personally, gotcha. Like I think a lot of people get hung up on what they can and can't do when they try to do it for other people. So say if you go to the gym or something like that, you're working out. Like a lot of times you're not working out for you. You're working out to look better for other people.
I got you. You're looking for that
satisfaction. Yeah. So I mean, I think like once it was something that was like, all right, like I'm serious about it. Like it's something that I want to do. As soon as I went home, bro, I cleared out all the meats, all the cheese, all the milk. I cleaned out my fridge completely. Wow. Like literally.
What was it looking like?
Bro, I had like beans, lettuce, and like some rice, bro. Wow. And like the next day, I made a meal out of that. And like that was my first vegan meal. I was like, Well,
yeah, we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start.
So going forward, you know, you make that transition. How about your parents and your family? How do they feel about it? Like, I mean, coming from, like you said, New Orleans, the Bayou, like, how do they feel about it?
My mom, see, the crazy thing is about, like, my mom, she owned the Cajun and Soul Food restaurant.
Okay.
So as far as us cooking has already really been in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, my mom cooked, her grandma cooked, her mom cooked, so it was like, it's something that we always had in the family, but it was the type of cooking that we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, when I first told my mom I went vegan, like, she was kind of like, what is that? Like,
I can only imagine.
I had family members telling me I was gonna die, I was gonna get too skinny, I was gonna do this, I was gonna, like, you need meat. And I was like, it's funny because, like, the studying I was doing told me the complete opposite. Like, if you eat a whole bunch of meat, you're gonna die. So it's like,
wow.
Where is the disconnect? Like, why are y'all thinking this way about turning vegan compared to, like, me studying vegan, like, me looking at, like, the type of diet that y'all eating right now, y'all gonna die from that. So just talking to my mom, like, once I started talking to her and explaining it, she was on board because, like, she knew, like, the vision that I wanted to put out. But it was really when I got to, like, my other family members, that's when I kind of saw the most backlash for a little bit.
Gotcha.
So it was around Thanksgiving, man, and I told everybody, like, I went into cribs. A lot of Southern families look at it as disrespect, if, like, you don't eat.
And I can agree with that, because in the South, like, dog, if you don't eat, it's either an issue or you gotta leave. Dog.
You gotta leave, yeah, man. So I went to the family, I went to the Thanksgiving family dinner, and we was just, probably the only thing I could eat is just some greens.
I was trying to think, I was like, bro, like, what are you gonna eat? Like, because sometimes the greens, they got the neck bones, they got the ham hocks, like, I don't know, like, okay, go back to
so that was just my coming out story, man. I was just telling people, like, like, I don't eat meat anymore. Mm-hmm. But literally, every family event after that, I started seeing, like, it was better because, like, once they started seeing me stick to my guns, they started accommodating, like, meals for me. Mm-hmm. Like, they started, like, making sure, like, every event that I went to, I had something I could eat. Mm-hmm. So it was really love, man. It was ridicule at first, but, like, after that, that's how serious I was about it. So they started giving me, like, more options, like salads at the family dinners. Okay. And so they really started trying.
And that's loud though, because you got some families that, nah, dog, we ain't changing.
Oh yeah, you cast it away, man, yeah.
But nah, just being able to support you in what you're doing, because it's not just like a phase. You're actually trying to do something, not only for yourself, but kind of motivate other people with
sure,
that,
bro,
yeah. And we talked about it off camera, like, when you come across somebody who is probably eating meat right in front of you, or just is not kind of willing to take on that vegan lifestyle, like, how do you talk to that person instead of, like, ridiculing them? Because we talked about that. You come across people who just simply judge you, it's gonna make you not even want to mess or even see what that person is going through. So how do you deal with that?
I think, bro, as far as just, like, the easiest way to get somebody on to something or to help share your vision is to I guess it's to really, like, sympathize with them. Mm-hmm. So, like, say if I saw you eating a big ass steak in front of me, I'm not gonna bash you for eating a steak, because at that point you're looking at it as, like, I'm judging your lifestyle. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm judging your lifestyle, because I've been at that same point. The only thing I can really say, bro, is if I saw you doing it, I can help you get alternative meal. Like, I can give you something that's similar to steak, but it's completely vegan. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of helps you stick your foot in the door, like, oh, that's not that bad. But I think once people start to bash people about the way that they're living, you're already turned off by it. Like, you're only gonna remember me as the person who tried to get you to go vegan by bashing you. And, like, nobody likes that, because, like, it makes you feel like, you know what I'm saying, it makes you feel less than. So all I can do is, like, for me to help spread my message is to really just tell you, like, the benefits of it and to give you alternatives. Because if I came up to you and I just started barking about how you're doing wrong and I gave you no alternatives, you'd be like, bro, like, this nigga bashed me, plus he didn't give me anything to try to help me. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, it's like a just judgment. You just came over here and pointed your finger at me, thinking like you better than me, but it's gonna be like, nah.
Yeah, and that's the whole stigma I'm trying to change about veganism, because a lot of people think like vegans are, like, hardcore, like, if I eat meat, like, they gonna hate me. Like, nah, bro. Like, first of all, it's not about you eating meat to me in general. It's about your health.
Gotcha.
Second, it's about, of course, animal cruelty. But then it's third about just understanding that, like, we can survive without that. So it's just kind of getting people to understand that, like, but it's definitely gonna take, it's a process, man. So it's definitely gonna take, a minute.
What are some misconceptions about vegans that some people don't know about, just in general?
If I can go off a misconception that people don't know about, I'll probably say that it's really not.
Not too many misconceptions?
No, it's not too many besides the fact that like all vegans are just bastards.
Okay.
Like now, I can see somebody eat meat, I was like, hope it's organic. Because it's just like, the way I feel about it is like, if you decide to eat meat, like good, by all means go ahead. Because like I don't even teach, or I don't even preach veganism.
Mm-hmm.
I did vegan more so in my business thing because of business, you know what I'm saying, like marketing purpose. But I teach people about a plant-based diet. Gotcha. So plant-based diet is really minimizing meats, oils, but getting the uptake in like your fruits, veggies, nuts, legumes, and everything like that. So if you minimize your meat intake, that's perfectly fine. But just make sure like whatever meats you're eating in general, make sure it's organic, locally sourced. Cause we going to Walmart, we buying 10 pounds of chicken breast for $3. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
it's fishy, dog.
It don't even sound right.
10, yeah. Because dog, and you think about it, like you'll come across just when you see these super bionic wings, you like,
yeah, man.
Dog, I know that chicken wasn't over there pumping on iron.
Man, bro, I'm telling you.
Or you see these steaks that look like somebody back. I'm like, bro, did they cut that right? Or is that really the whole steak? So
man.
It gets your mind going. But then again, we so, like you said, it's normal for us.
Normal,
it's normal to us to eat chicken, eat fried foods, eat pork.
Yeah.
When we don't realize the history behind it. Yeah. We talked about this on camera. I got really into African American history and slavery and us being fed the foods that we had, and the only season we had was salt and sugar. Going from high blood pressure and diabetes. So, like you said, it passed down generation after generation. It becomes a norm for us.
It becomes a norm, bro.
Yes, sir. But you can make, there's stuff that's similar to steak.
Yeah. So it's just like, what I tell people is like, we, especially with meat in general, like unless you're like a chef, like meat-wise, you know the basics. Gotcha. Like you can brown chicken, you can do steak, you can do shrimp, you can do fish. Like that's your base. Like you're gonna cook it a certain type of way, then you're gonna put some kind of carb with it, and maybe some broccoli. Like that's how normally people eat. Gotcha. But when it comes to vegan eating, like if you have a similar taste or texture that you're used to, it's gonna require you to get into the kitchen and really think about how you're cooking. Gotcha. So with a vegan steak, you can use something called it's called seitan, but basically it's called vital wheat gluten. Okay. So you can use like a wheat gluten, and then you can basically season it up, boil it, roll it out as like a dough, and you can make it into a form of a steak. Wow. Yeah, it's multiple things you can do, but that requires you to get smart in the kitchen.
You gotta know what you're doing. Yeah. Because it seems like you become more of a scientist as well as a cook.
Yeah, man.
Because sometimes cooks, even though you have to measure and know the certain amounts that you have to put in, but with this, it seems like you're an architect / chef / scientist.
That's the fun part, man.
That's what's up. I'm after that, man.
For sure.
So you do a lot out of the farmer's market, and you do a lot of pop-up shops. Yeah. The restaurant in the works, like would you ever see that down the road? Man. Food truck maybe, like I don't know.
See, I can definitely speak on food truck, but I think the way that food's evolving now, like especially like with Uber Eats and everything, like a lot of people are busier, but they still want to eat out. Like Dallas is one of the biggest, I guess, communities that still eat out a lot, that still go out to restaurants, but it's still on a decline because a lot of people, whether they're ordering Uber Eats, they're not sitting in restaurants long enough. Right. So I'm on the verge. Well, I'm on a whole wave of mobility. Like I don't want to have I don't want to have a restaurant and then the overhead is preceded by people coming through the door. Like I want to be able to get my food to people and people come out while they're out and about to stop and grab food. So I don't want to become a destination location, but I want to be able to go to people and deliver my food to people. So that's why I do the farmers market every Friday. Every Friday and Sunday I do the farmers market. But the food trucks, yes, definitely.
Because I can definitely see you being somewhere like Clyde Warren Park or even it's coming up. What about the State Fair? Because to be honest, that has to be a game changer, man. Because that's all you see in the fair is the stuff that people are like. Yeah. That's what they're accustomed to. That would be, I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer, man.
Man, so crazy thing is, like you speak on that, like last year because I had went to the State Fair, so I had literally made a post about like how this time next year I'll be the first vegan vendor at the state fair.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is I applied too late.
Okay.
So next year.
We got man.
Next year, bro.
State Fair, Texas, dog. That'll be a game changer. If y'all one of the first, because I guarantee out of all the years I've gone to the fair, I've never heard, seen anybody walk around with anything vegan. I guarantee that'll be a game changer. Because you have people come all over the world just to go to the state fair at that point in time.
It's gonna pop off, bro.
Definitely, and I'm gonna be right there.
Yeah.
By that time, I'm having vegan food because he's actually getting me very interested in trying stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, bro.
Sure.
But you've done private demonstrations for people. You actually fed some of your stuff to kids, and you know kids are very honest about it. They'll tell you what they feel like. How does it feel when you actually able to not so much change their mind or their perception of it, but actually like you guys like with me, like have me wondering like, bro, what's this about? Like, let me check it out.
Yeah, I guess that's the fun part of doing in general what you do, because you want to see the reaction out of people.
Gotcha.
If I was somebody who's preaching veganism and like my whole concept was salads, like people would look at me like, oh, he's teaching vegan, and like look away. But like the thing that makes it fun to me is like having, giving people something that they're used to. Like if I was to give you a vegan taco, you probably just smash it. Like you wouldn't notice anything until
like if you didn't say anything, but I had this taco.
Yeah. So you wouldn't notice anything if I tell you, if I told you the vegan. But seeing kids get that reaction, it's like these they don't even eat fruits and vegetables, but for them to have a whole plate of fruits and vegetables disguised as something that they normally eat, like that's why I get the satisfaction from it, because I know that they can do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's love.
So that's the fun part. But like you were saying, man, kids is the future. So us, like they can start a whole new wave.
That's very true, bro. Yeah. I mean, even just thinking into like the school system and stuff like that, adopting that kind of diet, because you have a lot of these schools that diets of lunch, it's just blah. There's so much out there, and just if a school was ever to take it serious and adopt that kind of nutrition, I guarantee you probably have some backlash because you will have people accustomed to what they're used to. But the thing is, bro, that like you said, I don't think anybody's getting sick off of going vegan.
Nah, man.
Same time, that's like one of the cleanest forms of eating that you can have out there.
It's from the earth, bro.
Exactly.
So that the vision I have with kids and the school system in general is really you have something that's beneficial for both the school and the kids. Like a lot of schools have empty areas of I guess just field, you know what I'm saying? So it's not nothing if they want to implement a program to where the kids can grow food, like they literally have periods to where they go outside, plant the fruits, plant the vegetables, and then you still have kids because it's a class period at that point. So it's not like a job. Like it's something that they're getting hands-on experience where they can teach them how to grow their fruits and vegetables. Like you get kids that plant it, you get kids that tend to it, you get kids that produce it, pull up the crops. Like literally you can use the food that all these kids grow into the cafeteria. So now you're having a completely sustainable system because
seriously.
Yeah, your kids are growing the food that they eat. So now your cafeteria food that they're serving is food that they eat.
And not only that, like you're showing something that a lot of these kids have probably never seen before from a well-oiled machine that works off of the work that you put into it. Because most of the time the work they see put into their food is place of order.
Yeah, it's flat.
And that's what it is. But when you see from the ground, literally the ground up, how it started and you got to your mouth, it's gonna be like, wait a second.
You're part of that process. And that's not a skill that you just be like, all right, well, I planted food for a year throughout school, like I'm just gonna forget it. Like nah, like you remember how either plants look, how to put it in the dirt. Like you remember certain parts of it. So that's something that carries with you out, and that's something that we have to learn today. Like a lot of people don't know how to plant or crop. They don't even know how to. So
I don't.
See, and it's just like it's something that simple. Like if we just spend a couple months really tailoring to it, like everybody can know how to plant something.
That's loud. I just see that vision. Like literally, that's something I could definitely see happening in the near future. But I also saw that you were able to showcase what you were doing on an actual platform, starting on a budget.
Yeah.
It had seemed somewhat like a news report and stuff like that. How was it doing that and just expressing what you actually do?
Man, it was dope because like my whole thing is like I never had the vision of cooking. Like I was working at a cell phone store before this. But then I guess the thing that kept calling out is like, every time I would have a conversation with a customer, they would be sick. You know what I'm saying? Like they would either know somebody who's sick, like, oh, my auntie's in the hospital, or my brother's in the hospital. Oh, what are certain heart disease, like just things like this. And like after hearing all that, that kind of sparked me to go home and start doing my research. Like I never had the vision of becoming like somebody who cooks. So I guess, taking that and run with it, like when I was on, shout out to Delita, when I was on Starting With a Budget, and I'm cooking live and I'm talking to her, I'm just like this is what I'm doing now. Like a couple months ago I was selling phones, so it was just weird, like knowing that, like you were saying, but like once you get a call and like things just kind of keep falling into play, you know what I'm saying? So it was either that point, either get nervous or just own up to it, and then it was a great interview. So that's how I know like I'm on, you know what I'm saying, I'm on to something like this, it felt right to me. Like I wasn't nervous, I didn't call and be like, we gotta cancel the interview. Like I was like, come on, like I was trying to embrace it. So it was fun, man. It was definitely fun.
Do you see any cooking shows happening on later on? Like, get some recipes out there, man. Like,
I'm really right now, cause I'm a one-man show.
I got you.
Like outside of people that help me in my events, like I do the PR planning, I do the cooking, I do the recipe creating. So as right now, like I'm trying to get on board and having having all my ducks lined up in a row. I'm not the biggest camera person.
Gotcha.
So like really like with having like cooking videos like Emma Lagasse, like Bobby Flay, like that's not my forte. But if you ever seen like tasty videos, like to where you show the hands, like I'm gonna start having more short. I'm gonna start having more short videos because I teamed up with my homie Mo. He shoots videos, so we got this concept that we're gonna do with the videos. It's gonna take a little bit to roll out. Okay. But the way it's looking is like it minimizes me talking, but it gets the whole recipe.
It's able to make it comfortable with you, but still put out the message that you're trying to put out.
Yeah, because I get awkward on camera sometimes.
Hey, bro, you did a good job on this, bro. We're doing good, bro. But I appreciate you coming on the Walker Review, bro. You kind of opened up my mindset, and hopefully to the viewers out there about veganism and just simply trying new things, man. Because our body is our temple, man. We gotta make sure we take care of it. And we want to be around for a long time. We gotta make sure you take care of it, man.
I think even what you're saying, the body is a temple thing, is like I think a lot of people eat off autopilot because like we've been accustomed, like we was talking about earlier, like we've been accustomed to eating a certain way. So if I was coming to your life and be like, well, you got the hamburger in your hand, that's not really good for you. Right. You was probably gonna point out, oh no, like this is on the pyramid. I'm supposed to get this much bread, this much meat. So I'm saying like that pyramid has been revised and edited and proven wrong so many times, but we still hold it true. It's like,
be honest, people don't even look at the pyramid. That's just what I want.
Yeah, I mean, like that's again, bro. That's like, but that all stems out from us like realizing that this is the way we're supposed to eat. Like, if I was to tell you that you're probably supposed to eat around 70% of your food raw food. So it's just like the way that we eat versus the way that we feel. Okay. So if you can see like the typical Western diet, all right, like we have fast food, we have all this stuff. But then you look at the typical Western diet, but then you look at the typical Western person on average, like the average typical Western person is obese. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it has to correlate between what we're eating and how people look.
Gotcha.
So that's a whole nother thing. Is like, all right, we eat this way. Like you may have a better metabolism than some people, but still on average, people with heart disease and diabetes and everything, like we're dying at 50, 55 years old.
No,
like,
seriously.
Something has to be where's the root cause? And I think that's the whole thing that still needs to get to this point in life, is to try to figure out like what is the correlation between food and the type of health that we have.
No, seriously.
So I'm not a nutritionist, man, but like the whole thing in general is pushing me to, to go towards that path, man. But the first thing I have to do is just get people to cross over. That's why I do the food that I do.
That's what it's all about, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, for sure, bro. I appreciate you having me here.
Hey, I've been convinced. I'm definitely. Hey, what's some restaurants that I can go to in the city? I know V Eats at Trinity Grove. Anybody else? 'Cause I know if anything, I'm coming to you.
Oh yeah. First and foremost, check out Bam Vegan. I'm at the farmers market every Friday and Sunday. Friday, I'm there from 10 o'clock to 3 p.m. Sunday from 10 to 5. But outside of some personal ones that I like, Dallas doesn't have many. Like, you can probably name them on one hand. But you got Veeds. Veeds is black owned, so if y'all want to try Veeds, definitely try Veeds.
Support on.
Yes, sir. We have Spiral Diner. Spiral Diner has 3 locations now, Dallas, Fort Worth, and then you have Loving Hut. I think Loving Hut has 2 locations. You have Flower Child. And then I'm a big fan of just, because when you go vegan, man, you gotta start trying different like ethnicities of food. Like you'll be surprised, like a lot of like Indian places or like Mediterranean places, they have a ton of vegan options.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so like try some vegan, try some Mediterranean places, Indian places. They got a lot of vegan options.
Definitely gonna check it out. We appreciate you, B and B.
Hey,
on the Walker Review.
Hey.
Check us out. We got more people to talk to and more seeds to plant. We see you when I see you, dog.